All right, we're live. I will just put the headphones. Hello,
What's up, man?
Pandji. How do you say like your last name? Because yesterday they said your last name. I'm like, okay, I'm not pronouncing that.
It's Pragiwaksono.
Pragiwaksono.
Yeah, and that's not actually the full name. My full name is Sutan Mudo Pandji Pragiwaksono Wongsoyudo.
All right, just keep it on Pandji. I don't think there's a lot of. Is Pandji a common name?
It's not really a common name anymore. It used to be.
What happened after you? They're like, oh, this guy's too famous. I'm not gonna call my kid after a famous guy's name.
Nowadays, kids in Indonesia, they have Western names. They be like, Pharrell. That's the
Pharrell?
new. Yeah, that's the new Indonesian name.
Like Pharrell Williams?
Kind of like that, or FAR.
FAR.
Yeah, but Steven Williams. That's the name they give to kids nowadays.
Yeah.
Like 7-8-year-old kids. If you meet in Jakarta, they'd be like, "My name is William. My name is." Yeah. So, yeah, it's a traditional name, I think.
Okay, wait. Let's talk. Yesterday we did a show
Uh-huh.
at the Indonesian embassy.
Yes, sir.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, thank you very much for the help and the support.
No problem. I irritated everything, but I was like, I'm gonna do an Indonesian embassy. So I'm happy I didn't do my jokes.
Why?
Because I have terrorist jokes. You know what I mean? If I go to the embassy, talk about terrorism,
you should try.
Yes, but I don't want to I don't want the Secret Service of Indonesia to follow me afterwards.
They're chill. Indonesian Secret Service is just the chillest Secret Service. I don't think they work at all.
You guys are like, it's a Muslim country outside of the Middle East.
Yeah, it's the biggest. It has the biggest Muslim population in the world, but it's not an Islamic country. It's a democracy.
Oh, it's cool. It's like Turkey.
I don't know.
No?
No.
Why not?
Not really. I don't want to say much because I know a lot of Indonesians are eventually going to be on this podcast.
Okay, well, it's not like Turkey. All right, I didn't say anything. But you're doing stand-up now in New York. Mm-hmm. How long has it been in New York?
3 years now.
3 years?
Yes, sir.
It's so weird. Like, you did the impossible thing. You went from being famous in Indonesia to paying for open mics in New York.
Yes, sir.
Why? It's like, I appreciate it. It means you like stand-up, but it's like you went to New York because it's the #1 place for the stand-up, right?
Yes.
And you wanted to learn English stand-up at the #1 place.
Yeah. It's and I don't know if you watch Kung Fu movies, but in every Kung Fu movies, if you want to be better, you have to fight those who are stronger and faster.
Okay.
And more, has more skill.
You want to fight stand-up comedians?
I want to go, face to face with these professional New York comedians and see where I'm at. But basically, I just want to be where the Mecca is,
Okay, I get that. Everybody's dream is to do stand-up in New York, I think. I mean, I don't know. Did you do stand-up in the cellar?
I haven't.
Not yet?
Long way, man. Long way to go. Yeah.
Okay.
That's where everybody wants to go to.
Yeah. That's what you want to do, a spot there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be in New York because I don't want to become an American comic. Not yet. Because I feel like now in Europe it's becoming more international.
Interesting.
There's this thing starting in Central Europe.
Yeah.
I want to be part of that.
Yeah. I have a sense of it because I've been, doing spots in several cities, countries.
Have you done Netherlands?
I did, but I didn't do clubs when I was in Amsterdam. I did the show that I did. It's called the 10,000 Hour.
Okay.
I wasn't hitting clubs, but I did hit clubs in Rome, in Berlin, in several cities in Germany, and I can have a sense of what the vibe is like, and it's awesome.
Okay, let me just check if we're recording because
it
should be fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're recording. I'm always paranoid.
Me too. That's the problem.
Yeah, you have that,
right? Doing it on your own.
Yeah. Yeah. You have a podcast too?
I do.
Was it in English or Indonesian?
It's okay. So I have 2 podcasts in Indonesian, but since I moved to New York, I started another podcast, which is similar to this. I have conversations with fellow comedians in New York.
Oh, that's nice.
It's called the Tempe Mentality. Tempe is an Indonesian traditional food. Tempe Mentality.
Okay.
But because it costs too much producing it, because I have to, rent studio and producers and lightings and cameras and stuff. It's expensive. And it's the winter. I need my money for heat. And so I've been doing that podcast. But if you search on my YouTube, Tempe mentality, you'll see, I think, about 8 episodes of me doing conversation, maybe 9, maybe 10 episodes, me doing conversation with New York comedians. Yeah.
Okay, do you do it in the studio still?
Yeah.
Okay, do you need a studio?
Well,
think about, because I don't have a studio. I just do it like this.
yeah.
And modern cameras are pretty good.
You're right. You're right.
But it's a fucking hell of a bitch to set it up every time. I usually have it in my room, and I have this place where I just set it up, and it's always running. But sometimes I have to do it somewhere else, which
Like
is
this.
always this. And then I have a list of things that I should not forget to take.
Right. I think it's just because I'm lazy.
Yeah, I get that.
I
get that.
I'm too old. You can't teach an old dog a new trick.
Yeah.
That's all I do.
But you're not that old, man. The jokes you do?
I don't know, 45 years old? Kind of. You're 28, right?
I'm 28.
Yeah. Well, you're young.
I'm young.
Yeah.
I feel old, but I'm young.
But you know what? A lot of people tell me that moving to New York should be a young people's thing.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and I feel like they say you're 45, you're too old. Well, I'd rather do it now rather than wait for 50 and be even older.
Yeah. Fuck no, that's all bullshit. Like the ages thing is like it's just how you feel inside.
Yeah,
because you're not 45 in my eyes.
Really?
No, you're inside. You're not.
I got you, man.
You're not. You things you do on stage. You move around. You say things that are like more like I don't know. It's not like you have that feeling that you're an old man talking about new generation. You're just like discovering it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. That makes sense. Yeah. I don't know. I do like to talk about me being old, but I don't really feel old at all.
Yeah.
I feel like I have long, like I think I'm going to live up until 75, 80 years old, and that's a long way to go.
You plan it out?
Yeah. Me and God, we're
like
yeah. That.
Did you message him? You're like, hey,
yeah,
5 more years?
Yeah, please.
But you're also you did movies. You did rapping.
I did. I still do.
And then you should do a stand-up rapping,
I did try. My second special.
Okay.
My second special ever was in 2012. And it was the same year I released my 4th rap studio album.
Okay.
And I launched it on the same day.
Okay.
So I have a full rap concert in the afternoon for 2 hours.
2 hours.
And then I did a 1.5 hour set of stand-up.
Wait, you rapped first and then you did comedy?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man.
That's stupid. I was still sweating from the rap show before.
Yeah, you must be tired.
It was stupid. It was because I thought like, let's just have the launch of these 2 products on the same day. It should be awesome. It's not.
No, don't do that.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
I'm just too stupid.
But that's a cool idea to do.
It is, but also I realized that whichever product that you want to put out, you have to focus on that. Because what happened was I was focused on my stand-up, and the production of the album wasn't really
like
developed.
you wanted.
Yeah, because I just need to put time and effort on each project separately.
Yeah.
And then stand-up has been blowing up, and then I haven't had the time to go back to doing rapping until recently.
Okay. So you like rap. Ooh.
Yeah.
You have inspirations, American inspiration?
Well, it's basically the same people. I listen to a lot of Jay-Z's. Listen to, I don't know.
Do you want to know your style?
Well,
like what do you listen to in the kinds of, because I'm not gonna know anything Indonesian, so I want to like, what is it American style?
It's
like
really
for your
weird.
favorite rappers.
This is so embarrassing because I used to be a huge fan of Will Smith.
Okay.
Rap wise.
Yeah.
DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince. Especially his album Big Willie Style, is it?
Is that the one with Miami?
Getting Jiggy with It, Miami. And then the next album Millennium. So I have a lot of
it's not embarrassing. Will Smith is a talented guy.
No, but he slapped a comedian, man. Come on.
Yeah, but that's...
Are you...
Personally, he's just... I don't know what kind of situation he is in. Because he's famous and shit's going on. And I don't know, fucks up with your mind.
I know. But the day I saw him, everybody in Indonesia knows me as the biggest Will Smith fan.
Okay.
I watch all his movies, man. All his movies.
Okay.
I watched Independence Day 20 times, I guess. Bad Boys. I watched the third Bad Boys. Is it the fourth? The fourth Bad Boys. I watched it with my crew neck, Bad Boys crew neck.
Oh, you're a big fan.
I'm crazy. I'm
Okay.
crazy. And when the slap happened, everybody was like, they hit me up. What do you feel about it?
Yeah,
I'm
but
like,
everybody makes mistakes.
I know,
You know?
but that's a very weird mistake.
Yeah, that's a bad mistake.
That's a
bad
very
one. You don't
know
want
what
that.
happened. I don't even know what happened, and I just can't see him the same.
Yeah, I get it.
You know, and I've been following him for so long. I even watched Jada's Red Table Talk podcast. Do you know that
Okay.
episode where Jada confesses about her cheating on
No,
Will?
I haven't followed it.
This is how you know I
Yeah,
am
he is a
Will's
fan.
crazy
Yeah,
fan.
he's a
so there's
fan.
this one episode where Jada has a podcast. It's called the Red Table, but
Okay.
most of the time she just chat with guests.
Okay.
And there's one time she had this one episode with Will Smith, and then she opened about cheating on Will
On a fucking podcast.
on a fucking podcast.
Those people
with
are crazy.
I don't know. You don't know, but it's with Jaden's friend.
Oh, shit. Oh, yeah, that's true.
It was wild, and the look on Will Smith's face.
He was there?
He was there. He was sitting right across with Jada.
They confessed during a podcast?
Yes.
No, don't do that.
And the whole
That's
idea
bad.
of the podcast is just trying to tell people, yo, Will is fine with this. And Will's, yes, I'm fine with this.
Yeah, no, he's not going to be fine. Nobody's going to be fine with
That's
that.
crazy. And ever since, Will Smith has been messed up. And I guess what happened
It's
at
not
the
easy.
Oscars was just,
Yeah, it's not easy.
yeah.
That's why I can't judge people.
Yeah.
That's why it's like tough. Like, okay, he did that. He's bad now. I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm not in that situation. Being so famous
Yeah.
and on
yeah.
all the internet comics with social media.
And you know what fucks me up the most is he slapped Chris Rock. Chris Rock was the reason why I did stand up. The first comedian I saw.
Oh my God, you're like what your
I'm
idea.
conflicted.
Your biggest fans loves your biggest inspiration.
Yeah. So
That's
the
so
first
funny.
introduction for me was Robin Williams live in Broadway. I
Okay.
watched it and I was like, yo, I want to be this. I have a skill set that I can do this because I used to do radio DJ.
Okay.
And I was like, I think I can do this. But the comic that pushed me into becoming the comedian I am today was actually Chris Rock. I saw his special Never Scared. And I was like, this is the kind of comedian that I want to be. And I've been starting to do stand-up. And can you imagine? These are both my idols.
Yeah.
And one of them slapped the other. And then I bought immediately the ticket to Chris Rock's next hour. And it went expensive. The prices went soaring up high. I was
Oh
like,
shit.
yeah. But it's, yeah.
So Chris Rock is a big inspiration for you.
Yeah.
Any other comics? Yeah, your favorite comics? American.
Dave Chappelle. I think my favorite Chappelle special was actually For What It's Worth. It's the
Which one is
one
that?
before he was wearing a yellow T-shirt with a suit,
Oh yeah.
with a jacket, and that was the one before he went to Africa.
Okay.
For What It's Worth. I love how Dave Chappelle, his jokes are topic-wise, it's pretty deep, but the way he wraps it with joke, it's so easy to chew. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
There's just one of his joke about women and the way women dress. I forgot. I'm gonna butcher this bit, but it's like, please, sir, just because I dress a certain way doesn't mean I am a certain way. He was talking
Okay.
about women dressing,
Yeah.
being sexy and being,
Yeah.
harassed. I was like, well, if somebody they come up to me with a police officer uniform, I'm like, sir, there's a criminal.
okay.
And then the police officer will be like, just because I dress a certain way doesn't mean I am a certain way.
Yeah. Okay, I get that.
So yeah,
So,
that's
yeah,
that.
it's a good line.
I love both of them, but work ethic wise, I admire Seinfeld.
Okay.
He writes a lot. I love a
Yeah.
lot. I watch a lot of Louis C.K.
Louis. Yeah.
even after
Yeah.
the
Yeah. I'm a big Louis fan.
yeah. You
yeah.
watch Sorry.
Everything.
That's isn't it funny?
It's super good.
I think his first special after the incident.
No,
was
that's not
just
sorry. That's sincerely.
Sincerely,
Louis.
yes, sincerely,
Yeah.
and then sorry.
Then
You're
sorry.
right. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah. I know Louis, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know him personally, but like last year, because you can listen to stand up on Spotify. like the albums are there.
Yes.
And my last year most listened artist was Louis C.K.
Wow.
I just listen to it or repeat when I go to bed.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay, that he does that. You just nice to hear, like stand up.
Yeah.
Like Louis, Patrice O'Neill.
Yeah.
Bill Burr. And
Bill
then
Burr.
there is this Turkish comedian, Jamie Moss, which is my biggest inspiration when I was growing up.
What was that again?
Jamie Moss, but he does it in Turkish.
Oh, okay.
So it's only like cultural.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the first time I started watching stand-up.
Wow.
And that was 12 or something. And then afterwards, I was like, what do the Americans do? And then I watched Louis. I think at 15 or 16, I was like, I want to do this.
Wow. And you've been starting doing stand-up here?
Yeah, last year, a little over a year now.
Wow.
I
I thought you said that you have a club. You have a club, right?
Yeah, I mean, I have an organization. I used to have 7 venues. Now it's like back to 4 or 5.
That's still a lot of venues.
Yeah, 7 was too much.
Wow.
Yeah,
so you run it?
Yeah.
It's like a club, or
no? It's like I go to a bar. I say like
I see.
The bar has the thing.
Yeah.
They have the microphone and stuff. We have like weekly or monthly places. We have like basements and other places in the city.
Right. So you usually have 7 of those, and now you have 4 to 5.
Yeah, because I had 2 shows in Leuven. I helped starting up this other comedian in Leuven. So I just like, it's yours now. You do everything. I help them up with the advertisement and stuff.
Right.
So I can go whenever I want to do shows there in Leuven.
Right.
I have 3 places in Brussels.
Right.
Next year I want to open up in Antwerp and Ghent and Leuven, all across Belgium. This was the new name, the Belgian Comedy Network. That's what I want to do.
Is are you making money?
Not a lot. So this is what I do. It's free shows, and it's like the bucket concept, you know. Like at the end,
pay whatever.
So what we try to do is make the show so funny that people pay more.
Great, that's awesome.
And sometimes you get more. People are very generous here if
they're happy with it.
Yeah.
It's interesting because I think that kind of concept should apply in Indonesia, but it hasn't. I think we should try it.
It's a good concept. It works because the thing is, opening up a club, I'm not going to be able. I have a job, you know. I have a desk job.
Yeah.
I switch jobs now, so I'm doing that. But just going to a bar, I'm like, hey, do you guys want to make money? What is your weakest day? They tell me like what the weakest day is. I just turn that into stand-up, and then they bring a lot of people, and they're happy. We're happy.
That's interesting because Indonesia, the scene started out 2011, and there's no club. Right now we only have, I want to say 4 clubs.
Okay.
Like clubs. One is Comedy Club, which I own. Ketawa Comedy Club, which just recently opened. This is actually the first, and then pandemic happened, and then they closed down, and now they're open again.
Do you do also English comedy in
Yes.
Indonesia?
Yes.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah, but not as much as Indonesian, obviously.
Yeah, it's the same here. French is more popular in Brussels
yeah,
than English, but the English is starting up.
Yeah. Especially ever since I moved to New York, and people in Indonesia were like, "Oh, let's try to do stand up in English as well."
Yeah, that's good. You're a pioneer.
Yeah, maybe, but
You are. Who is it? Like from the people that are like known in stand up in Indonesia, how many people do in English?
A lot.
Okay.
I can say there are probably I want to say 7 to 8 names that have been doing stand up in English for quite a while, and if they can finance themselves, they can move to New York or whatever. But the hardest thing about it is just the money aspect of it, because it's very expensive.
Yeah.
But the English comedy scene in Bali is thriving.
That's
if you're
good.
a comedian in Bali, you can have gigs almost every day.
I'll visit.
What was that?
I will visit there.
You should.
I will
You should.
visit.
There are several clubs or organizers that you can hit up with, and they're. It's interesting how they also have kind of like a school for because there's a lot of bule with the white people, we call it in Bali. There's a lot of
Bule.
There's a lot of bule. They just it's either they want to be spiritual gurus or they want to be something else, and sometimes they want to be a comedian.
Okay.
And then they actually learn the craft with some of these guys, and then they start doing stand-ups, and so it's wild.
Wow. There's the whole.
Yeah. And it's fun, right? It's the name Bali is well known worldwide.
Yeah.
And a lot of comics in New York even want to go to Bali and perform. do stand up.
Do you guys have like a lot of tourism, right?
Yeah.
So you probably the audience wise is like a lot of tourists as well.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Because we had that in the summer here.
Yeah.
That was weird. Because
Really?
normally nobody runs shows in the summer, and I was like, I cannot stop.
Do you stand up?
I mean, if I don't do a stand up a week, I'm like, what? I'm going crazy. So we did it in the summer, and we were like, what is the turn up going to be? Is it going to be people? Surprisingly, like 60-70% of the people were tourists.
Wow.
They're coming to Brussels because Brussels is famous. I don't know for what reasons. Not the weather, obviously.
Yeah, mannequin piss.
Mannequin piss, and then the atomium, and then the bureaucracy. The unnecessary bureaucracy. The 3 languages that we have for no reason. Nobody speaks German. There's the part, and I don't know if you know, there's a part in Belgium. There's like Eupen, that they call it. It's 15,000 inhabitants. And we got it because Germany lost the war. And Germany was like, here, take this land. So all those people that belonged to Germany were like, what the fuck? Well, why are we Belgian now, you know?
But, you know, I noticed that the signs are mostly in French or in Dutch.
Yeah.
They're not really in...
No, nobody cares a fuck about the Germans. I don't think they want to be a Belgian. It's 15,000. Also, like, Brussels is mainly French-speaking. Like, you will find more Spanish-speaking people than Dutch-speaking people.
Okay.
Because the Flemish people don't move to Brussels because they don't like it.
Yeah.
But it's dumb. I like it. I'm from Flanders. I love Brussels. It's great.
I think it's very interesting. I think it's because of those 3 languages, and I heard that a lot of people choose to speak English with each other.
Yes.
And that's why I have a sense that, well, English comedy scene should be able to thrive.
Exactly. The reason why I want to stay here is I want to create like, because I see the trend going on. I'm like, everybody here, like in Europe, is speaking English, especially in Brussels, because we have the European Union here, we have NATO here, we have the United Nations here. It's all these big institutions in the city, and it drives a lot of European people.
Right.
And so Europe is becoming more international. Everybody's starting to speak English. So there is no international Europe channel or something. There's no, but there are people that only speak English. And then the jokes you do about, like, for example, yesterday I always do that, like the opening. Do we have Italians in the room? Do we have this in the room? It creates a vibe that you cannot do that in like New York.
Exactly.
New York, you will
right.
do like, if you have some people from Texas, from California, you will do that.
Yeah.
That's their humor. But our humor, we don't have like the city. We have like, our states are different countries, and they speak different languages. And for example, the France, people don't. You play on kind of like the stereotypes of the Europeans in the English language.
So right now, you kind of like if we're surfing, you kind of have a sense that a wave is coming.
Yeah.
And you're trying to chase that wave. Interesting. Wow.
Because all the shows
I should move to Europe.
Well, you can.
New York is expensive.
Yeah, well, New York is expensive. But I mean, I don't know. You can just figure it out. Maybe Austin, Texas.
That's what a lot of young comedians move to.
Yeah.
First of all, no tax, less tax, and then and because of Joe Rogan, the comedy scene is thriving, and there's a lot of comedians move there. And I was like, a lot of my friends as well, they moved to Austin, Texas, and it's they say it's the New York of Texas. Austin. Yeah, it's more modern.
Yeah, it's booming. It's popping.
Yeah.
California everybody is getting out of California for some reason.
Yeah, and it's way cheaper in Austin. And so,
for now.
For now,
the prices are gonna go up. Everybody moves there.
That's what happens.
So everywhere. New York is fucked up though. Prices. I've been to New York.
Yeah,
and it's just
New York has
too much people.
And everybody's gonna be pissed off with me. New York has the sign of a dying city.
Yeah. You think?
It's like it's rotting away. You see people using drugs like at the sidewalks.
That was always the case, right?
Yeah, I don't know, but
because New York used to be like a very dangerous place.
It used to be. I think it got a little bit better, but people are arguing every day. It feels like the trend is leaving. You know how, if you study world history, it's always moving, right?
Yeah.
It used to be the Europe.
Yeah. The place to be is moving.
Yeah, and then America, United States, and UK. And then it's moving towards, I think, Asia.
Yeah, now it's Asia. I think it's moving towards Asia.
Yeah, it's moving towards Asia. Business-wise, China, and cultural-wise, Korea.
Yeah.
and it feels like the energy is being sucked out of New York. However, Americans, maybe New York specifically, are still very good at branding and selling, and so the name of what New York offers is
American.
still,
Yeah.
So, and I'm sold, and that's why I'm there.
Yeah, I mean, New York seems nice. I mean, I don't have the resources to go. I mean, I can't do it, but I'm like, I'm fine in Brussels.
Yeah,
I feel like I kind of belong in this place.
yeah. I think it's New York is really tough in terms of it's a swing big, miss big kind of thing.
Yeah.
If you want to swing, you got to swing big. If you don't, you won't see the results of your effort if you don't swing big.
Yeah.
And if you swing big, when you miss, there's a lot of people. You walk in New York and you're brushing with the shoulders of people who are chasing their dreams and people whose dreams are just died maybe 12 or 7 years ago, and they just have nothing in them.
But in New York, how often do you stand up in a week? Like,
I do open mics 2 to 3 times a day,
Jesus.
and I do 5 days a week.
Jesus,
And I
that's
only
15 times a week.
Yeah, times $5 per mic. It's fucking expensive.
Well, you pay for it, right?
Yeah.
But then what happens? What is the audience like in open mics?
What was that?
The audience, is it like?
There's no audience.
There's no audience.
It's
There's,
just comedian.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just-
it's terrible.
Honestly,
it's horrible.
stupid. Every time I describe this, it sounds even more stupid. But
Yeah.
that's what we do. We pay for mics. There's nobody in the audience. There's only 15 to 18 people, and everybody's just on their cell phone.
Yeah.
And they're not laughing, and you don't have a sense whether your joke works or not. And so every comedian in New York is just looking for stage time. You don't have to pay me, just give me stage time. Even if it's only 5 people in the audience, but if those are real audience, to me, it's a show, right? Because we've only been doing stand-up in front of other comedians. And the more you do it, the better gigs you get.
Okay.
And the better gigs you get, the better comedian you do set with in the show. And the more you expose yourself with these comedians, and these comedians have better shows they run, and they'd be like, "You want to do my show?" And I'm like, "Sure." And then you work your way up until you gain reputation.
Okay.
And it's a long process.
Okay. I have a different process here in Brussels.
How is it?
So for me, it was like I did 2 shows here in Brussels, and I got banned.
You got what?
I got banned.
Banned?
Yeah.
Why?
Type of humor.
Damn. Really?
So then I was like, okay, I cannot expect other people to give me spots.
Mm.
So I was like, okay, I'm just gonna
Do your own thing.
do my own thing. That's why I have so many spots, because I want to go on stage.
Right.
I just did the bare minimum, because the only thing I need is I need a venue and audience. That's all I care.
How many comedians are there
Here?
Let's say in Brussels.
Real comedians or hobbyists?
Oh, that's interesting. Let's start with real comedians.
Real comedians, I would say 20.
20. Hobbyists?
Hobbyists, 50. With hobbyists, I mean 50.
Wow, that's interesting. When did the boom start? Was it
Last year, because I've only started like in a year.
Mm-hmm.
I think last year, with the expansion of my venues,
Mm-hmm.
well, it's limited because I only select comedians that I find funnier than me.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Because I'm a beginner,
Uh-huh.
and I only want funnier people than me,
Yeah. Yeah.
so I can learn.
Yeah.
So-
Also, so you can provide good experience for the audience, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
so they come back.
Mhm.
It's a business.
Mhm.
We need audience.
Mhm.
I don't care about like whatever like reason I should have to put on. Open mics, everybody's welcome.
Mm.
If you sign up, you get a spot, no matter who you are.
Mhm.
I don't care about gender, sexual orientation. I give a fuck. I'm not gonna select somebody. Some people are like, you need to select at least 1 female, 2 females. I'm like, I don't give a fuck. If somebody is funny, they can go on there.
Right.
Don't look at the gender because it's
Right.
sexist.
Yeah.
So what I did is I just walk around in the city
Mhm.
and then go to venues. I'm like, okay, this is a nice place, and then talk with them, and I could try to convince them to give me 1 night, and I just do like marketing,
Mhm.
and then I fill up the room. I make sure the room is full, so the bar owners are impressed, so they can keep me giving me more and more and more, so
Right.
I can keep carrying on. So I got like, okay, and then make a schedule. Like, okay, every Tuesday, every day, there. What I want to do is I want to do like develop open mics more in the weeks where I can test material, and then in the weekends I want to do like different shows in different cities, so we have like different audiences.
That's great. That's what I should be doing.
But I don't know how you can do it in New York.
Well, it's basically the same thing. There's a lot of venues.
Yeah, if you find a venue, you just market it, make it free.
A lot of these, we call it alternative rooms. So in New York, there's 2 routes of doing stand-up: clubs and alternative rooms.
Okay.
Every comedy show that's not in club is called alternative room.
Okay, so I guess we only do alternative rooms here.
Yeah,
okay.
Exactly. It was the same thing in Indonesia for quite a while. And all the shows in alternative rooms are run by comedians. And sometimes I'm surprised with some comedian's friend of mine. How did you able to book this? This is a great room.
Yeah.
And I was like, they're just doing the hard work. They just knock on doors. Sometimes they get rejected. Sometimes
I got kicked out by a venue one time.
Wow. Yeah, I think that's what I should be doing. I think after doing this 10,000 hour tour, I want to start doing the same thing. I want to start grinding. Yeah.
I can help you out with that.
Yeah, definitely. You know what? Some people, when they apply visa, they have 5 years worth of visa, like Schengen visa. Mine is only like a month away. I don't know what happened.
What do you mean?
The period of my visa is only a month.
Okay.
Where everybody else has 5 years worth of visa, and so they can go back.
Have you been talking shit about the United States?
I have no idea, man. But if I have a longer, period of visa, I could just, go back and forth to Europe. And, and develop.
It will be easier.
Yeah, I would love to go back here. I would love to hit more in Berlin and several cities in Germany.
Yeah.
And Italy as well. Italy is very interesting.
Yeah, I have this one room that's in the basement. It's like the cellar.
That's nice.
And here, and it gets packed 100 people.
100.
And it's like surrounding a bit.
It's really like the cellar.
It's kind of like the cellar, yeah. You sit on tables and people eat and drink.
Wow.
And it's the low ceiling.
That's nice.
I have my phone. Well, I'll show you pictures afterwards. It's just perfect, the perfect venue.
Come on, let's go. I love it, and I agree with you about seeing the early wave coming for the English comedy scene, the international comedy scene here in Europe. I would agree because I have that sense as well. I was talking about Rome, Italy. The comedy scene blew out 2017, and they got interrupted by COVID, but now it's starting up again, and you can have a sense that this is still the cool thing for the young people.
Yeah,
people are showing out, dressing up.
Yeah,
to the nines. I was like, yo, beautiful men and women. They're Italian, but so you have a sense that this is still something.
I do think it's because of social media.
Yeah.
Instagram, TikTok, comedians started pushing their material on there.
Right.
So people are like, oh wow, stand-up is really popular now. And everybody sees it now. And they're like, oh, there's stand-up going on in my city in English. Let me go check it out. And then they start talking a lot to the audience. Audience starts talking because they see all those people
doing crowd work.
And like, oh, I'm going to do that too. I'm like, no, that's not the point.
In New York, it's interesting. A lot of people, I used to think that it's just a thing that New Yorkers do or comedians do. It turns out because some comedians, they get a lot of spots, but they didn't write enough jokes for all this spot, and so they have to do crowd work.
Oh, but yeah, because I get it.
They do 15 minutes, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes almost every day in a week, but they haven't written enough jokes for all those gigs, and so they have to do crowd work. So it's out of necessity. I get it now.
So how do you write? Do you like paper pen, or is it ideas in your head?
Yeah. So this is just the way I do it. I just write. I start in Monday with nothing in mind. Sometimes I think about jokes on my way because it took me an hour and 30 minutes from my home to Manhattan, and so I think about jokes on the way, and it'd be stupid bullshit on Monday, but because I do 2 to 3 mics on Monday, Tuesday I feel I have a better sense of it, and I develop the same 5 minutes for the whole week. So by Friday, I have a sense, even though it's just a mic, I have a sense of what works and what not, and I just look for spots on the weekend to test the jokes. Monday, I start fresh again.
Okay, that's good.
Well,
because you're throwing away everything and you're learning to make jokes and not have jokes. You know what I mean?
Yes, but that's why it took me. So the set that you saw last night, it was like about 45 minutes, right? It took me 2 years to write all those jokes.
Yeah, well, it takes a long time.
Yeah, it takes a long time because every after 1 week, I have maybe 2 or 3 solid jokes. Okay, put this away. Sometimes I don't have anything worthy in that week, and so I start fresh. Or sometimes I do the same set the next week again, try to develop. And then after several months and maybe even year, I was like, I think this is ready for a longer set. So I do 30 minutes and 40-minute sets.
Okay.
So it takes a while. All I do is just I gather as much solid jokes I can have to a point where it's ready to be a set, to be a special.
So how many years have you been doing stand-up? Just both languages?
Both languages?
Yeah.
I started doing stand-up 2010, so that has to be 14 years.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
Yeah. So I moved. So 2010, I started in Indonesia. 2022, I moved to New York.
Okay. Damn.
Yeah. So I kind of have a sense of writing wise.
Yes.
The problem has always been reference and finding the sweet spot for Americans to laugh at my jokes. That's the hardest part. Because I can't really translate all my jokes.
Okay.
To English.
Yeah, cultural. Yeah, cultural. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Especially from Indonesian, it's different language, different.
It's different. It's different. The hot button, the thing that gets people offended in Indonesia, it turns out is kind of different with what offends people in the U.S.
Okay.
In Indonesia, it's religion.
Okay.
In the United States, it's race.
Well, that's their religion, you know.
Yes.
that's how they religiously believe out there.
That's their core identity.
Yeah.
Race. So it's similar, but it's not the same, and it's really hard. But I think the biggest challenge is not language wise. It's really hard to make them pay attention. I mean, New York audience, because they've been watching stand up since the 70s.
Okay.
You have to be very interesting so that it's worthy of my time to watch you. And then after you make them pay attention, you still you have to find a way to relate so that they can laugh. So, it's another thing. Yeah,
you got to keep them hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's tough.
It is tough. And New Yorkers are just jaded about stand-up. They're just, I don't want to say, the word that I have in mind is unappreciative.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And a lot of New York comedians feel the same way. I met with several comedians. They spent a month in San Francisco. And the first thing they say, oh, man, it's so fun to do stand-up in San Francisco, maybe Boston, maybe LA. People are more appreciative. People in New York are just jaded about stand-up, other than the tourists.
Maybe in New York they expect more.
Yeah.
Because they've seen more.
It's expensive, man. In New York, you have to pay $25 to $30 and then 2 drinks minimum.
Oh, fuck.
Right? So say $30, that's $40. You better be funny.
Yeah,
real quick.
You fucking funny. You
have laugh. To be funny. Yeah, got to make me laugh. It's $40. And there's so many other things. You can watch Hamilton, you can watch Lion King, whatever, Taylor Swift. So I'm giving you $40.
That's why it's a big, tough thing to be doing stand-up there. You got to be really good there.
I know. As an Indonesian, I admire, I don't know if you know this, Dr. Jason Leong. He's Malaysian, and he has several specials out on Netflix. And because Indonesia and Malaysia is a neighboring country, and Indonesian like to compare ourselves to Malaysia a lot.
Okay.
But Malaysia is way more advanced in terms of entertainment-wise, especially comedy-wise. I admire how Jason, coming from Malaysia, is hitting up spots in Cellar, Fat Black Pussycat.
Okay.
And he's just crushing it, killing it. And I was like, wow, this is amazing. There's nobody for me as an Indonesian to look up to.
No, you're the pioneer.
Yeah, but now I have Jason. Jason,
but he's from Malaysia, right?
Yeah, well, I got to have somebody to look up to.
Yeah, well, yeah, okay. Yeah.
And from Singapore, there's this guy. His name is Fazri Rashid. He's also very funny. He did the Esplanade. He has several Netflix special out. So.
From Singapore. The crazy super city town.
I know.
Whatever they did there, I have no idea how they did that.
You know what's funny about Fazri Rashid? He speaks like he's gangster. He has an American bravado.
Yeah, he probably watched a lot of New York gangster movies and learned English from there. I have the same thing.
Yeah, but the interesting is, every time we eat dinner, he has to be the one, you fucking bullshit. I have to be the Singaporean. It's so funny to see somebody gangster, but also likes to clean up because he's Singaporean. It's so funny.
A cleaning gangster.
Yeah, he's a cleaning gangster.
You better clean your fucking...
Clean up your shit. I'm gonna fucking blow you off. You'll be like, you fucking asshole.
It's funny. Yeah. New York is New York is nice because all of the movies I've watched. I mean, I kind of learned my English from watching those movies.
Definitely, yeah. I listen to hip hop as well. So
yeah, right there you go.
Yeah.
You're super gangster. It is that way.
Nobody gangster lives in Flushing, Queens. I do. Flushing, Queens is just.
I live in Porto. Yesterday they broke into my friend's car.
Really?
So,
Wow. That's gangster.
Yeah. That's just homeless gangster. You know? It's a fucking sketchy neighborhood. But I used to live in a nice neighborhood, but then I was like, this is too nice. There's a coffee place everywhere. There's a bunch of hipsters walking.
Yeah.
It's too. I'm like, this is not reality.
Yeah.
So I went back to.
You can't be funny in that kind of place.
Yeah, I don't have family. I don't have kids.
Right.
I don't need to be in a fancy place.
Yeah.
I want to be in reality.
Yeah.
I want to see. Well, sometimes I open the door, I see a guy shitting in front of me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like, all right.
Now
he's
this
like,
is real life.
Yeah, he's
this
like,
is raw right here.
yeah. He said, he's like, still French. He's like, polite. Excuse-moi. You know? It's funny. He's like, it's all right, man.
Yeah.
Don't worry.
You know, that is the life the comedian lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's also why a lot of funny comedians come from New York, because it's a mess. It's a mess. Yeah.
It's a fucking mess. There's too many people.
Yeah.
When you go there, it's just you walk infinitely.
Yeah.
And there's always people.
There's always people.
And there's always some guy screaming in the corner. Brussels kind of gets the same thing, because I live next to the South Station, which is like the problematic place. Like, and I can see like the shit going on. It keeps me away from drugs, because I can see what's gonna happen.
Right. This is what happened. This is the route right here.
Yeah, and I don't think people are homeless because they don't have money. I think they're homeless because the drugs are getting better. I really think that
the drugs are getting better.
Yeah,
wow.
I really think that they are like learning how to make it more addictive.
Right.
I don't think it's a money issue.
It's so crazy, because I was just from Goshen for my tour. Goshen is this really small town in Indiana. Like, everybody knows each other. They still have homeless people.
Yeah.
And I was like, what happened? Drugs. And this is just like the guy next, that's his neighbor, being, just sleeping on the sidewalk or something.
Yeah, I guess, yeah.
I don't know. Drugs are really wild, especially fentanyl. That's what happened.
United States is fucked.
Yeah, I saw them. They really. Have you watched zombie movies? Do you like zombie movies?
So I've seen some.
Yeah, I like Shaun of the Dead. Or maybe, how they walk like that.
Yeah.
It's exactly, people who are on fentanyl. It's just exactly like zombies. I was like taking pictures of, this is so interesting. It's wild though.
It's fucking crazy.
It's crazy. It's kind of scary, but also it's kind of funny.
Yeah, if you have kids, it's scary. You don't want any kids near that.
Yeah, but my neighborhood is it's chill. It's okay. Yeah.
I've been telling you, it's just the biggest proof for me not to do. I just like, it's scary because I feel bad for them, and I know they're like, I see them, they're like helpless.
Yeah, there's a lot of people on social media pointing out that these people who are high on fentanyl using sneakers that were just out 6 months ago, which means they're newly hooked on drugs.
Yeah, I'm telling
you. They
were
okay 6 months ago, and then fentanyl happened, and then now they live in the street. It's wild. It's scary.
Yeah.
I'll just move to Brussels.
Well, it's not bad getting better here.
People are nicer.
People are nice in Brussels.
Yeah,
that's true.
But is it different because you both speak French? I mean, French people, and here in Belgium, but you have different demeanor.
It's completely different cultures.
Completely different.
Yeah, that's why it doesn't work.
Oh, because people in French are really, I don't know what the word. They're snobbish.
Arrogant. Yeah, that's their stereotype.
Yeah.
And I do think it's because they are generally disinterested in different cultures. I tell like France are failed Americans because they think they won. They didn't. America won. I have this joke in the audience. I ask like, hey, who are the candidates for the United States? And like Kamala Harris and Trump. And I ask, hey, who are the candidates for France? The people don't know. I'm like, yeah, exactly. You don't know. So stop pretending that everybody speaks French. Stop pretending you guys did not win. It's not you.
Everybody knows about
Yeah.
American politics.
Yes.
Nobody knows about.
Nobody knows. What? I don't even know what's when the elections are. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Nobody cares. The thing is like the France has their own, like they translate everything. Because I got French people in the house, and when they watch a movie, my French friend was watching Inception, and I see Leonardo DiCaprio speaking French. I'm like, what are you doing? This is not, you know. At least put on the subtitles. Come on, man. This is not what is intended. So I do think that's why it is. I do think also like they have really big culture.
Right.
They have all of these countries that speak French. They have kind of Canada. They have North African countries.
Right.
So it has their own culture, and they're kind of in there. And also I think France, as language-wise, is very different from the English ones. And I think they're also bitter that they didn't win. I really think that.
You might be right. You might be right.
They have their own history. That the Napoleon. It's a fascinating country. Whatever happened there, that they started a revolution every 2 months. You know, they start striking.
Yeah, I think what's the word? What's the word when you were the shit and then you weren't?
Yeah.
Post power.
It's that kind of like you moving to New York. You know what I mean?
Don't do that, man. Don't do that to me. Post power syndrome is the word.
But it's a very brave thing to do, man.
Me?
What you did? You gone from like being applauded to the stage, now being like booed on stage.
That's actually true. I remember I got heckled. Stop doing stand up. You're not funny.
That gets to you.
That's the first.
That gets to you, right? When you sleep at night, you think about that. You know?
I this is one of the worst. Was I was doing a bar gig, and my jokes didn't work, so I tried to do crowd work. And it got even worse.
Yes.
And then somebody in back, boring. I was like, I have never heard anybody said that to me in Indonesia since 2010. So I was like, okay, but I guess it's humbling. You know, it keeps me on check.
You have to bomb. It's a very important thing. If you don't bomb, you're not trying stuff that's risky. You're not trying things. You gotta.
And that's why in Indonesia, I don't want to sound arrogant, and maybe I am, but sometimes people laugh because it's Pandji speaking, not necessarily because of the joke.
You know that. That's a good thing.
Yeah, and then because of my, some of my jokes, when they didn't laugh, sometimes it's because of me. Not because that the joke wasn't funny.
Okay.
I moved to New York, and then the art is above me.
Yes.
If they laugh, it's because it's funny. If they didn't laugh, it's because the joke didn't work. And that's what I want.
Yes,
as an artist.
Yeah. That's what you don't want to be. Yeah, you don't want to be. That's why I think Louis does that too. He goes to places unannounced without crowds that he doesn't know, so he can test material that's really.
Yeah.
I think we have to end this there with 5 minutes left.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is great. I love this. Yeah. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks for coming to Brussels, man.
Oh, I love it. I promise you, I'm gonna hit you up the next time in Europe. I'm gonna hit you up.
Yeah.
I want to do some spots in your place.
Yeah, you will love the reservoir. I'm gonna show you the.
Let's
place.
go.
All right, you gotta go because this guy has to catch a flight to go to Berlin, right?
Yeah.
What your Instagram? Frankfurt. Mm-hmm. What are your Instagram socials? So we know
just
that.
Pandji.comedy.
Pandji.comedy.
Yeah. Pandji is Pandji. All
right. I'll put it in the title.
Yeah.
All right. Thanks, man. Thanks
my pleasure,
for coming.
Thank you so much.
Well, this was the Who Gives a Fuck podcast, but I guess people are gonna give a fuck about this podcast because this guy is a good guy.
Come on.
All right. See you guys later.
Peace.